What's going on, everybody? It's Zachary, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my 2020 NBA mock draft. Now, this has been potentially my most anticipated video yet. I've had so many people asking me, Zach, what's your mock draft? Or, Zach, what are your predictions for draft night? Well, I'm going to be addressing those questions in today's video. Also, if you want to see where I've ranked these guys, I've put a link down to my big board in the description. If you do enjoy the video, I ask you to please politely tap that like button, and if you are new around here, I'd ask you to please consider subscribing. I am on the road to 100 subscribers, so literally every subscriber means a lot to me, and you will have a special place in my heart. Aww. So, without any further ado, with the number 1 pick in the 2020 NBA draft, I have the Timberwolves of Minnesota selecting Anthony Edwards. The closer we get to the draft, the more assured I am of this pick. With this pick, the Timberwolves are hoping to find D'Angelo Russell's backcourt partner for the foreseeable future. Last season, the two-guard spot was largely filled by Josh Okogie, Michael Beasley, and a little bit of Jarrett Culver. Next season, Culver will likely play more as a small forward. Beasley is a restricted free agent and is currently dealing with some legal issues, and Okogie will probably start on the bench, or potentially slide over to the 3. This provides a nice comfy spot for Anthony Edwards to slot into. With the number 2 overall pick, I have the Golden State Warriors selecting James Wiseman. Looking at the Warriors roster, there clearly is a hole at the center spot. Kevon Looney is a more than useful player, and we will no doubt see a couple Draymond at center lineups, but the pick just seems too perfect. Should they're not traded, of course. Wiseman can do most of what will be required of a center in Golden State's system, and his role will be simplified, and this will give him time to develop. With the 3rd overall pick, I have the Charlotte Hornets selecting Onyeka Okongwu. Now, this pick might be a surprise to some, but Charlotte has long been linked to a long-term option at the center position. Over the past 2 seasons, they've expressed interest in Clint Capella and Andre Drummond, but with all those options off the table, they'll have to settle for Onyeka Okongwu. Okongwu may not carry the pizzazz of a usual top 3 pick, but he could very well be just as effective. He will raise their floor and will likely help them improve their 24th place in the league in terms of defensive rating. With the number 4 overall pick, I have the Chicago Bulls selecting Deni Avdija. The reports are that the Bulls are looking for a lead playmaker in the draft, and Deni could fill this void. The Bulls haven't quite given up on Chandler Hutchinson yet, and Otto Porter is still on the roster. However, Porter is in the last year of his deal, and the Bulls will likely be looking for an upgrade on the injury-prone Hutchinson. At pick number 5, I have the Detroit Pistons trading pick 7 and Luke Kennard to the Cleveland Cavaliers for pick 5. And at pick 5, the Detroit Pistons select LaMelo Ball. The Pistons have expressed their willingness to take a home run swing in this draft, and Ball would certainly represent that. After the trade, the Pistons roster looks extremely underwhelming outside of Blake Griffin, fresh off an injury, an aging Derrick Rose, and Sekou Doumbouya, who's entering his sophomore season. Derrick Rose would represent somewhat of a blockade at the point guard position, but he will likely be gone after this season's trade deadline. At number 6, I have the Atlanta Hawks selecting Tyrese Haliburton. With this pick, Atlanta continue to lay the foundation for Trae Young to jump off and lead them to contention. Haliburton represents almost the perfect mold for Trae, with his willingness to play off the ball and his defensive acumen. Haliburton would have to compete with Kevin Huerter for a starting spot, but other than that, there's a clear path to the starting lineup for the former Cyclone. At the number 7 position, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers selecting Obadiah Toppin. The Cavs vacate the number 5 position to drop to number 7 to pick the guy they probably would have picked anyway, and in the process they pick up Kennard, a useful young wing. The Cavs do still have Kevin Love and Larry Nance on their roster, but it's likely they trade Love and view Nance as a role player. This provides the perfect opportunity for Toppin to slide into that front court. At the number 8 position, I have Killian Hayes going to the New York Knicks. If this pick happens, Knicks fans should be jumping for joy. The Knicks will likely want to upgrade at their guard positions, and there's no better way to do that than to pick the best guard in the draft, at least in my opinion. Hayes will fit nicely next to RJ Barrett and could prove to be a very nice building block for the Knicks. With the 9th overall pick, I have the Washington Wizards selecting Devin Vassell. With this pick, the Wizards add a good, versatile 3-and-D wing, and you can never have enough of those. He will likely slot into that 3 spot, moving Achiuwa to the 4 and Troy Brown Jr. to the bench. With the 10th overall pick, I have the Phoenix Suns selecting Kira Lewis Jr. The Suns will probably be looking to draft a point guard to eventually replace Ricky Rubio when his contract runs out, or should he be traded. Lewis offers good playmaking ability, and if the shot comes around, he could be the perfect foil for Devin Booker going forward. At number 11, I have the San Antonio Spurs selecting Patrick Williams. The Spurs have only had 4 lottery picks in their history, 2 of which turned out to be future Hall of Famers Tim Duncan and David Robinson. Patrick Williams might not end up as good as those 2, but he certainly has a high ceiling. He would probably start on the bench, but I trust that the Spurs development team will get the most out of Williams. With the 12th overall pick in this draft, I have the Sacramento Kings selecting Isaac Okoro. The Kings were the 20th best team in terms of defensive rating last season, so I'm assuming they wouldn't mind some help on that end of it. Isaac Okoro brings that and more. Should the Kings decide to trade Buddy Hield or not bring back Bogdan Bogdanovic, he could receive their minutes. At the 13th spot, I have the New Orleans Pelicans selecting Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith to the Pelicans just makes too much sense. Yes, they drafted Jackson Hayes last year, and I do feel like he could be a good player, but Smith just fits better with Zion. He can space the floor and make up for Zion's defensive lapses. With Derek Favors and Jahlil Okafor free agents this offseason, there is definitely a roster spot for the young big. With the final pick of the lottery, I have the Boston Celtics selecting Precious Achiuwa. Achiuwa is a high upside pick, and the Celtics would definitely be swinging for the fences with him. They are currently looking for a long-term solution at the center position, and Precious could be that. He will need some time to develop, but if he can, he could be a good complementary piece to the current Celtics core. In this video, I'm only going to be talking about my top 14 picks, so if you want to know what the rest of my first round looks like, here it is. If you did enjoy the video, please politely tap that like button, and again, if you are new around here, please consider subscribing, and until next time, it's been Zachary McAllister of ZMC Productions. Have a good day.